So 5 or 6 Spider-Man oriented TV shows? Yep. Hey guys, before you get started, make sure you click that subscribe button. And if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Hey guys, let's talk a little bit more about the Spider-Man movement over at Sony. Now, we know with the current Disney-Sony kerfuffle, the web-slinger is not going to show up in Phase 4, and he's returned to the Sony side of Hollywood for more development, most likely integrating him back into the Venomverse. But the other day, when Sony Pictures Chairman and CEO Tony Visekura was talking to Variety, he did make an interesting statement. He said that Sony is currently working on 5 or 6 television series set in the Spider-Man world, but will give no further details. Now, what this means is, the shows that they're developing could be anything. They could be a standalone show, they could be interconnected with the movies they are developing, or it could be just a television universe within itself that Sony is developing. Now, he provided no other details. And some of this I find pretty interesting. There's a ton of rights questions that I have here that nobody seems to be able to answer. First and foremost, is Sony even allowed to do this? It's pretty unclear whether the rights that they own allow them to produce television and movies or just movies. And based on information that we saw in those Sony hacks, it doesn't appear that Sony is able to actually make these television shows at all. Now, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on behind the scenes with rights, and a lot of stuff we're never privy of. I'm sure there's been multiple negotiations, and this could very well be something that changed when Spider-Man came into the MCU in the first place. Although, many people thought this was going to be a talking and negotiating point for Sony when coming to the table with Marvel Studios and trying to extend that contract with Tom Holland that ultimately failed. So, what do we really think of all this? Well, it's pretty ambitious. First off, technically, their Spider-Man has only had 2 movies, and they have the Venom movie. It's really early in their cinematic universe to expand into television shows. Spider-Man has probably about 200 villains that they could choose from to introduce in various ways, so there really is no rush. Unfolding their own universe at too rapid of a pace while trying to ride the coattails of that particular version of Spider-Man being part of the MCU, because let's be clear, that's exactly what Sony's doing, runs the risk of highlighting how he's been moved from one universe to the other. I mean, if 10 new villains showed up, where's all his friends? Where's the rest of the Avengers? All these things become a lot more apparent. So there's some key storytelling that needs to go on here, and I'm not really sure how Sony's going to handle that. So what do you guys think? Are you even interested in these Spider-Man shows? And what characters would you like to see Sony develop if they're allowed to do it? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like below, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.